Hey guys, I'm at the beautiful Providence subdivision here in Wilmington, North Carolina, bringing you another one of Wilmington's best neighborhoods. I'm going to take a drive. I'll show you the neighborhood. Looking forward to sharing this beautiful neighborhood. So if you're thinking about moving to Wilmington, North Carolina, but you're still not sure which neighborhood is best for you, you're in the right place. Today I'm going to cover another one of Wilmington's beautiful neighborhoods. We'll go through the pros and the cons of that area and the neighborhood specifically. Then we'll get outside, take a drive, I'll show you the neighborhood, and I'll show you a couple of houses that have sold in the recent past to give you a better idea of what you might get for your money in this neighborhood. My name's Ryan Smith. Wilmington's been a special part of my life for almost 3 decades, and I'm excited to be sharing it with you. I talk to people every day just like you, looking for some help in moving to or around Wilmington. So whether you're moving this month or next year, feel free to give me a call, send me a text or an email, and I'd be happy to help in any way I can. Also, if this is your first time to the channel, please subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss any new information I post that may help in your move around Wilmington. Let's get started. So today we're going to be covering the neighborhood of Providence. Providence is actually very close to, just up the street from the Demarest Landing neighborhood that I covered in a previous video. So if you like this neighborhood, that one is definitely worth checking out as well. So some of the big highlights of this neighborhood that stand out to me are, first and foremost, the area that it's in. I believe it's to be centrally located between both historic downtown Wilmington and Wrightsville Beach, and equally as important, while it's close to a major roadway that has all the amenities you could possibly need on a day-to-day basis within 5-10 minutes away, the neighborhood itself is set off the beaten path. It's a very established neighborhood. Some of these houses are 10, 15, and 20 years old, and some older. So the lot sizes are larger, very heavily wooded areas, a lot of trees and shrubs, very well planned neighborhood. And this neighborhood, because of that, it very cuts down on a lot of traffic. It's not a through street or a throughway for any particular commuters. And so once you pull back into your neighborhood, it really feels like you're in your own private, heavily wooded oasis, which for me is a really big plus. It's backed up against and close to Howe Creek, and it being heavily wooded and then back up to the creek makes it particularly quiet. It's in a very safe part of New Hanover County, and as I mentioned, it's close to all the amenities you might need on a daily basis. So, as I always do, let's hop into the map first, give you a map tour of this area and of the neighborhood, just to give you a better idea of exactly where it's situated. Then we'll come on out, we'll cover some of those pros and cons, and then we'll get out for a drive, and I'll show you the neighborhood. All right, let's take a quick look at the map so you know exactly where we're going today. I've got Providence Road already marked here on the map, which is where the Providence subdivision is. And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here for some better perspective. Get my marker. So this subdivision is just off of Middle Sound Loop Road right here. A massively popular area for all the right reasons. Of course, location and proximity to a lot of the things that you'll use and need every day, and school systems in particular. A lot of people will seek out homes in this area, specifically, first and foremost, for the schools, because they are so highly rated. We are just north of Wilmington city limits here in Ogden, and but of course still in New Hanover County. So we're looking today in this Providence subdivision, which is right here. As I mentioned, about 124 home sites in there. Some of those going back 20 and 30 years when the first home started getting put in. So very established neighborhood. A couple things to note here, as I always do on the map. Some of my favorites are, you got to know where this historic downtown Wilmington is, about 25 minutes away. And of course, Wrightsville Beach right here, 15 to 20 minutes away, depending on traffic. Some awesome parks very close by. Smith Creek Park right here, which is about 12 to 15 minutes away. Ogden Park, 10 minutes away. Pages Creek Preserve, basically in your backyard there, just about a 5-minute drive, and that provides about a mile walk, a little less than a mile walk through the woods, very beautiful, along the creek, Pages Creek, and then out to a dock there. Great place to view the creek there. It's very beautiful. I've been out there with the family several times. Also, some places to get outside north of here. Additionally, you've got your UNCW right here, 15, 20 minutes away. Airlie Gardens, which is amazing. Highly recommend getting a membership there. That is also 15 minutes away. And airport up here, 20, 25 minutes away. Again, depending on traffic, but very easy to get to. It's like 2 turns and you're there. So those are the big things to look at. The last one I'll mention is Mayfair here, also very close, straight down here on 17. Mayfair is going to be where you'll find some of your higher end of shopping, your major shopping area. It's a beautiful outdoor mall, if you will, with entertainment, restaurants, dining, and shops, movie theater, and several other great places in the Mayfair shopping center. Also some great residences, condos there, townhomes, if that's an area you want to look in. So that's the big stuff there that I think you need to be made aware of. And then on a day-to-day basis, I always mention this. These places are great. Maybe it's a place you need to go on a daily basis, but I really pay close attention to those things that you're going to need on a daily basis, like your grocery stores, maybe gas stations. And one of the amazing things that people love about this Middle Sound Loop area is within 5 minutes, literally, you've got 3 major grocery stores, pharmacies, doctors' offices, gas stations, home improvement stores. You've got a Lowe's, you've got a Walmart, again, within 5 to 8 minutes away. So all those last minute things you got to go out and run errands and grab, those are available in a very close proximity. So that's it for the map view here. Obviously, we'd get into more detail as needed. But let's hop out, get into some of those specific pros and cons of this Providence subdivision, and then we'll get out and take a drive. All right, let's talk about some of those pros of the Providence subdivision. First and foremost is location. As I mentioned in the map tour, I think it's perfectly located between historic downtown Wilmington and Wrightsville Beach. And it's also close to a lot of the daily amenities you may need to get to, like grocery stores, pharmacies, doctor offices, things like that. Also, very safe. This is a very safe area of New Hanover County. Walkability is a big thing for me in looking at neighborhoods, and this one in particular, as was the Demarest Landing neighborhood that I did a review on just recently. Once you get back into that neighborhood, it's really like your own private oasis. They left every tree that they could, every bush that they could. The houses are really built within and around the trees versus clear cutting those down first. And as a result, it's a much more feeling of being secluded. It's a much quieter neighborhood. There's much more privacy back here. Also, through traffic, there's no reason to be in and around the neighborhood unless, of course, you live there or are working there. So there's no through traffic that travels through here, making the roads a lot safer to get out on these slow roads of the neighborhood, with the walking the dog or taking a jog or getting out there with the family, and that is a huge plus as well. Additionally, it's an older, very established neighborhood going back almost 30 years. So actually almost 35 years. So the lot sizes are particularly large, and there's a lot of variety in the types and sizes of homes as well. And that's a big plus too, because it gives us the opportunity to get in there or wait for something to pop up that really fits the needs of a particular client. So many of the lot sizes are half acre or larger, which is considered huge these days. And as I mentioned, some of these houses are actually backed up against the Howe Creek. There are a few that have their own docks. The neighborhood itself does not have any deeded water access for the community as a whole, but some of the homes are lucky enough to be situated on Howe Creek and have access to that. However, there are a couple of small ponds that were designed and built within the neighborhood, and many of the homes are situated in and around those that still allow for a water view. So those are the big pluses and pros that stand out to me for the Providence neighborhood. So what about those cons of the Providence subdivision? None come to mind in particular. This is a beautiful neighborhood, well situated, I believe, geographically within New Hanover County, and no big red flags come to mind. However, that doesn't mean it's a good fit for everybody. I do have clients that decide they don't want a heavily wooded community. They don't want a large lot size where there's more maintenance particularly involved, or an older home. Some of these homes are 20 and 30 years old, and that's a different element than what you're going to get with a new build that's been in a subdivision that's been clear cut, where you have very few trees. So while it's not for everyone, it certainly is one of my favorites, but I urge you to explore it further and decide if that's the type of home and environment that you want to live in and be at on a daily basis, regardless of the location. All right, let's get outside, take a drive. I'll show you the neighborhood, and I will stop and highlight a couple of homes that have either closed or that are pending at the time of this video. Keep in mind that these older established neighborhoods, because of there's so much old growth trees and they are so heavily wooded, many of the shots that I get of the homes are obviously blocked by the beautiful foliage and the trees that are in these communities, which I think is actually a huge plus. And if we want to explore those houses further, we can certainly do that at a later time. All right, let's get started. As we drive through the neighborhood, I simply urge you to notice the mature trees, the large lot sizes, just how little traffic you'll notice on the road as we drive through the community, and just how much seclusion you'll notice in and around these homes. We'll drive around for a couple of minutes, and I'm going to stop at those two homes I mentioned earlier, and on the screen you'll see what they sold for and the basic size, number of bathrooms and bedrooms and so forth, just to give you a glimpse of what things are selling for, have sold for in the recent past. that wraps up this video and this review of the beautiful Providence subdivision. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, I help people like you every day in moving to and around Wilmington. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out, give me a call, send me an email or text, and I'll be happy to help in any way that I can. Thanks for watching.